Hi everybody! So today's video is how to make smoked haddock fish cakes. Now I'm making these as a starter for a dinner for 4 this evening, but obviously you could make these as a bigger fish cake and have them as a main course as well. So I'm going to crack on now and just take you through the ingredients that you need in preparation for making these smoked haddock fish cakes. Okay, so you can see at the back there some Maris Piper potatoes. I will come into those a bit closer. So you need I think it's 400 grams of those, which will be peeled and chopped into cubes. You will need 300 ml of milk. You can either use semi-skimmed or whole milk for this. You'll need 200 grams of smoked haddock fillets. You'll also need 1 to 2 bay leaves, depending on sort of taste, 1 onion finely chopped, 2 free-range eggs, 2 tablespoons of creme fraiche, the zest, which as you can see is the outer edge of a lemon for those of you that don't know, the zest of 1 small unwaxed lemon, 4 to 6 tablespoons of plain flour, 2 tablespoons of flat leaf parsley, finely chopped, and as you can see I haven't washed and chopped that yet. You'll need 1 teaspoon of paprika, and you will need 3 teaspoons of grainy mustard, and you will also need some breadcrumbs. So here I have actually done, how many grams is that? 125 grams of pre-made breadcrumbs. If you want to see a video on how to make those, then check out my sausage making video because that's on there. And so that's what you'll need. So the next step is, once you've chopped the potatoes, to just pop them in a pan of slightly salted water, which I've pre-boiled in the kettle, and then boil those for probably, because I've cut them quite small, probably 10 to 15 minutes, it might be anything up to 20, until they're soft enough to mash. So whilst the potatoes are boiling, I'm just going to get the fish prepped as well. So as you can see, I've added the milk into a, well, they refer to in the recipe it says a shallow saucepan. Pop the milk in there. I'm going to pop the haddock fillets as they are, don't chop them up, just put them in whole into the milk, season with salt and pepper, and then leave them to simmer for between 6 and 10 minutes until the fish starts to flake. I don't know if you can hear me over the potatoes boiling, but I should have said also with the fish going into the shallow saucepan with the milk and salt and pepper, you also want to pop the bay leaves in that milk as well. So I'm just going to get that on the heat now, on a gentle heat, and just show you what that looks like. So as I just mentioned here, you can see I've got the smoked haddock fillets in a shallow saucepan with some milk, salt and pepper, and 2 bay leaves as well. So that'll simmer down for between 6 and 10 minutes until the fish actually starts to flake. If you feel like it's not sort of cooking quick enough, you can cover it with a lid. I only have a tagine lid for this, so I'll probably just use a little bit of foil. So hopefully you can see that I've popped the fish in a bowl here. I'm just going to flake that up with a fork now and then leave it until it's cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of butter to the potatoes, which were soft enough for me to just gently put a knife in, and I'm going to just go ahead and get those mashed. So once your potatoes mashed, it should be about this sort of texture. I'm just going to go ahead and leave that to cool now, whilst the fish is also cooling. Okay, so the fish and the potato are now just on the windowsill cooling. I'm now just going to pop a little bit of olive oil in a frying pan, probably about a teaspoon of olive oil. I'm going to pop the onion and the lemon zest and the paprika in the pan all together, and just sort of gently fry them off. Alright. Okay, so whilst the onion and paprika and lemon are still just gently frying down, I thought I would confess to a rookie error. In my recipe I've got a side dish to serve with this, which requires creme fraiche and mustard. So I obviously said to you at the beginning you'll need creme fraiche and mustard, and you don't need that for this particular recipe. So scrap that, ignore the creme fraiche and mustard, everything else you will need. Okay, so once you have fried off the onion and paprika and lemon, you need to add that, go ahead and add that to your flaked fish. And then also I'm going to, at this stage, add the parsley as well. So I'm going to take sort of a good handful of parsley and just add that into the fish mixture. Give that a good mix. I'll show you. Okay, so next you just add the mashed potato to the fish mixture, which I'm going to do now, and then I'll show you once it's all combined and mixed together. Okay, so this is what the mixture should look like once it's all combined. It's quite a stiff mixture of the fish and the potato and everything, because obviously you're now going to shape it into cakes. I'm just going to form these into round balls now, about 16 small round balls, which I'm going to squish it into patties. So once I've done that, I will be back. Okay, so I've now rolled the little fish cakes into little patties, which look like this. And now for the exciting bit, which is to get them ready for breadcrumbing. Okay guys, so as you can see, I've got the patties, or little mini fish cakes ready here. They don't look particularly pretty right now. And I've got another platter over here, which is set up with parchment paper. And I've also got a plate of breadcrumbs, a plate of egg, which is 2 free-range eggs, which I've beaten. They're 2 of our own home eggs, actually, which is why they're so yellow. And a plate of plain flour, which I've just popped a little bit of black pepper in as well. So what I'm going to do is just gently pop the patties from this plate into the flour, into the egg, into the breadcrumbs, and onto this plate. So it's bound to make a mess, and I'll do my best to show you as I go. So I'm going to just pick up one of the patties off the plate and then literally just give it a good little roll around, sort of all over the edges in the flour, which just kind of gives it a gentle coating. Then just tap any excess flour off. So it should look like this. And then I'm just going to pop that into the egg, like so. So that's nice and gloopy, and that just acts as a glue. I'm just going to roll that around in the breadcrumbs so that they're nicely coated. And then you end up with something that looks a little bit like this. So I'm just going to go through and get all of those done. Fish cakes now that they've been breadcrumbed and floured and egged. So that's the wrong way around, it's floured and then egged and then breadcrumbs. So you can have a quick look. They're not perfect, they don't all look the same size, but it's rustic cooking. So I'm just going to cover those with cling film now and put them in the fridge. You could refrigerate them for at least half an hour. That's going to make them easier when you need to fry them off. Okay, so the final step with the fish cakes is to just take them out of the fridge. Pop a small amount of oil into a non-stick frying pan. Just gently fry them for about 5 minutes and then pop them into an oven that's at about 180 degrees for probably about 10 minutes until they're hot all the way through. Video a little bit useful. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If you got any feedback, any comments, just pop it in the comments box below.